known as the county manager, but I think he's got a much nicer title now. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please welcome Mr. Peter Hyne, Chief Executive Officer of Mayo County Council.
Thanks, Anna. It's a great privilege to be here, folks. Great privilege to be part of this very important launch. So we're just well and Aughagower, Hyne, Minister, elected members, Aughagower. It is a fantastic turnout for late on a Friday evening, especially when there are so many pressures on people to be in different places, not least our elected members who have other duties which could easily distract them at this time. So it's a great privilege and great endorsement of what's been going on in the county to see such a turnout. In fact, if you were to assemble a team of the great and the good from tourism around the county, you're probably looking at the lineup. So you're the tourism A-team, and it's great to be here to be part of the occasion. You will have heard me speak before, at least most people I think would have heard me speak about the vision that we have for Mayo, the vision that we're trying to drive through Mayo County Council, lead by Mayo County Council. And that's a county which is sustainable, inclusive, prosperous and proud. And at the heart of that is jobs, at the heart of that is engagement, at the heart of that is activity, and at the heart of that is tourism. So this is a very important launch for us and a very important, I think, point in time to just look back a little bit about what's been happening. As previous speakers have said, it's a long time since we had our first strategy and look forward over the next 5 years. First strategy was developed in 1991. It was the first time, and we were one of the first counties to do it. We weren't the first, we were certainly in the first wave, we were probably number 3 or 4, to develop a tourism strategy by a local authority, or at least led by a local authority, that was put together by Tourism Development International. People like Brian Quinn, my predecessor, Des Mahan, and many others would have had a very big hand in that. And after 25 years, you can look back on what it's achieved. Now, that was put together by consultants in the main who came in from outside to look at the potential in the country. Since then, we've had the development of the Cato Fields. We had the setting up of Mayo Naturally and all that company did. We had the development of Turla House. We had the celebration of Mayo 5000, River Dance, and all that came with it came from that strategy 25 years ago. We had the National Park. We had the story of Westport. Westport 25 years ago was a vastly different place to the Westport that we talk about now. And those of you who want to go back and have a look at 25-year-old photographs, you'll see a lot of derelict sites, a lot of empty spaces, even on Bridge Street. So a lot has changed in 25 years. Strategies are important, roadmaps are important. Previous speakers have spoken about the Greenway and the Wild Atlantic Way, and there are many, many more success stories that have happened in every corner of every parish in this county. So the future, the next 5 years, based on this strategy, is really important that it includes everyone in the industry, everyone in this room, and everyone in the county. People talked about collaboration. The strategy that we're launching today is a key part of the Mayo message, and that is 3 things. It's Mayo as a can-do county. It's Mayo as a county that has delivered, is delivering, will deliver, and Mayo is the connected county. And connected not just in physical terms, not just by airports, although we have those, not just by infrastructure and transport, we have those, not just by transatlantic fibre optic cables, we have those, but by a sense of identity that links everyone in this room with everyone in that 3.5 million diaspora that's out there, and that's a large part of what the effort of Mayo.ie has been about, and it is hugely important, and it's got huge potential to drive prosperity in this country in the future. We've talked about outdoor adventure, Mark has talked about that. We have the potential to become the outdoor adventure capital of the island. We've talked about quality of life, and everyone who talks about the best place to go wild, the best place to live, and all of the other titles is promoting an awareness of that. And there is a huge potential in the area of well-being. So, for the next 5 years, we want to include all the county. We want to include a taste of Mayo, Mayo food. We want to include the warmth of Mayo. And I'm not talking about the atmosphere or the weather. I'm talking about the people and the welcome. which is absolutely fundamentally important to the experience that people have when they come here. And we want to get the message out, and it is true, that Mayo is a place which is good to visit, not just for the crack, but for your spiritual well-being. It's a good place for your soul, and it is. It is a fantastic county, and that's the message that we're trying to promote in this and develop in this strategy. And the policy gods are starting to move in our direction. 25 years ago, when we talked about tourism, Mayo was not really recognised, and it certainly was underdeveloped. Policy now, and I have the privilege of serving for the last couple of months on a think tank, policy, developing policy, and it is becoming official, is that there is a need to recognise regional access through our regional airports, and that the 7 counties based around Ireland West Airport block need to be treated in a particular way, and that can only be good for us and for this region. The other policy statement that's evolving and realisation is that there is an absolute need to up the numbers on the Wild Atlantic Way that move north from Galway and not south from Galway into Kerry, and that is to our advantage as well. I think we're at a very exciting juncture, and it is really, with the new government coming in a couple of weeks' time, huge potential for the county over the next 5 years. I'd like to thank everyone who has been involved in putting this strategy together. Our first strategy was done mainly driven by consultants. This one was done in-house. It's been as inclusive as it is possible to make a strategy. Everyone has had a chance to make an input. There have been presentations in practically every town in the county, and you've all responded to those. So I'd like to thank in particular the Director of Services with responsibility, that's Joanne Graham, for the passion and commitment that she's shown over the past 3 years in the tourism area, particularly since she became Director. To acknowledge the work of Susan Heffernan, who facilitated the consultation process. I'd like to thank everyone in the unit, John and the team, and particularly Porrick and Anna. I'd like to thank our own directors and the staff in the municipal districts, all of whom work to push the Mayo message. And most of all, I'd like to thank the people here who do the work. Now, there was a reference to party political broadcast area. And one of the privileges of the job that I do is that I'm totally apolitical. I am required to be equally abusive to members of all party and none. But on this occasion, I know I will be given a little latitude, because it would be very remiss if we didn't acknowledge the work of our next speaker and thank Minister Ring for the effort that he has put into promoting this county and in the investment in tourism over the past 5 years. Thank you, Minister.